Students focusing their attention toward China, and celebrations for Women's Awareness Month are underway. Those stories and more coming up in today's show. I'm Sarah Scheuerman. Welcome to Inside ISU, your source for campus news and information. Well, ISU has named a new Vice President of Research to replace Dr. Larry Ford. Dr. Pamela Crowell from Indiana University, Purdue University, Indianapolis School of Science. Dr. Crowell will begin her term in July of this year. Well, the 8th Women's Work Conference is being held on Wednesday, March 5th, as part of Women's Awareness Month. This conference is designed to give women who are interested in non-traditional work with opportunities to gain information. Workshops, speakers, local training, and educational resources will be in the Pond Student Union Building from 8 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. There is a fee to attend, though, but it includes a continental breakfast and a luncheon. Well, for over 37 years, one ISU organization has been bringing world issues to campus. In this week's Clubhouse Spotlight, Stuart Summers tells us how the International Affairs Council covers the globe.
The Frank Church Symposium is the main project of the International Affairs Council. We spend most of our energies focused on that. We bring in delegates from around the country, and sometimes we brought in people from international venues.
This year's focus for the Frank Church Symposium was China in the 21st century. Topics covered during the three-day event included human rights issues, the upcoming Olympics, and women in politics in China.
We try to get the students and faculty and the community aware of international issues that are going on at the current time. And so right now with the Olympics going on in a few months in China, we thought it would be a really good topic that the public ought to know about.
The Affairs Council was able to draw large amounts of students during the symposium.
The world is getting global, and so anything that exposes people to different cultures or the politics, the principles that affect those people should be important to especially university students.
It's really wonderful to come and see the fruits of your labor, especially tonight where we had a full house.
The topic for next year's symposium is yet to be determined, and all students are welcome to join the club. For Inside ISU, I'm Stuart Summers.
The three-day symposium is named for Senator Frank Church, who served in the United States Senate. Senator Church was well known for his extensive work during the Vietnam War and with the United Nations. Because of his distinguished service to the world, the symposium was named for him. Frank Church died in 1984. Well, potential candidates for ISU general election are beginning to size up their competition. The always heavily debated elections are happening earlier than usual this school year. Voting will take place on March 18th and 19th and will be wrapped up when students leave for spring break. The main change in this year's election process is the absence of a presidential runoff. This year, the executive ticket who receives the most student votes will win. Positions up for grab include the ASISU president and vice president, Idaho Falls campus vice president, and 20 Senate positions to represent the various colleges. Next week, we will bring you more information about the candidates and their election platforms. Well, coming up after the break, looking for something to occupy your time? We have all the upcoming activities that you need to stay busy. And we will be awarding this week's Claws and Paws for the good and bad behavior.
Valuable rehearsal for this operation in Korea.
For more than half a century, we've been there when called. When the Korean conflict erupted, we were there.
So soon.
And in Washington, the Defense Department announced troop increases meant to offset the...
When needed in Southeast Asia, we were there. When you witnessed the Gulf War on TV, we were there. Every day. Whenever and however we're needed, we are there. We've been protecting freedom for more than 50 years. From Korea to the war on terrorism, we've stood ready to serve. We are the men and women of the Air Force Reserve, always there, always ready to go above and beyond.
1 minute.
So you know your scroller's
Poison
going,
Center
right?
can help.
What's the number on the bill, ma'am?
Su niña estaba fuera.
What a day! Started with a call from the factory in town. There'd been a chemical spill, and a number of the employees had breathed in the fumes.
This mom called because her 2-year-old got into some old blue pills, and she was scared.
And then I got a snakebite call from the emergency room.
Supply the antivenom.
I made sure that everybody got out into the fresh air, and then I told them what to watch for.
She calmed down when she heard me speaking Spanish. I told her that her little one would be okay.
I explained how to use the new antidote. The patient is feeling much better.
They called quickly, and everyone was fine.
I called back to see how both of them were. She was so grateful.
I was glad to teach them something new.
Experts at your local poison control center are ready to give you free
9, 8.
Well, looking for an excuse not to do your homework? Then check out these upcoming activities going on this week. On Tuesday, March 4th, there is a gender book club discussion at Main Street Coffee and News. The book club will be discussing the topic, the macho paradox, why some men hurt women and how all men can help. The discussion starts at 5:30 p.m. The ISU Symphony Children's Concert is on Wednesday, the 5th, at 11 a.m. at the Performing Arts Center. Also on March 5th, the documentary Women Behind the Camera is being shown at the Bengal Theater at 7 p.m. Following the film, there will be a discussion with writer, director, producer Alexis Krasilovsky. Don't miss Women's History keynote speech on Thursday, March 6th. Dr. Tanya Molesky will give the talk entitled No More Tears on the persistence of melodrama in representing women's lives. It starts at 7 o'clock p.m. in the Salmon River Suite in the Student Union Building. Well, also on Thursday, the musical group Ladysmith Black Mambazo will be performing at the Grand Concert Hall. The concert will begin at 7:30 p.m. A note to seniors, Friday, March 7th is the last day to file your graduation application if you plan on graduating in May. And be there Saturday, March 8th, as women's basketball takes on Weber State in the Reed Gym. The game starts at 2 p.m. This week also marks the midterm week. That means that we have only 8 more weeks left before summer break. Well, for a complete listing of all upcoming ISU events, check out the master calendar on the ISU homepage. Well, with numerous events happening all the time on campus, ever wonder who's responsible for event planning? The ISU Student Activities Board is a group of 10 students who plan over 150 events a semester. Each member of the board is appointed to serve a 1-year term and is responsible for getting students involved. They are now taking applications to hire next year's board members. If you are interested in applying for a position, stop by the Involvement Center on the bottom floor of the Student Union Building. All board positions are paid a small stipend for their work. Every week, Inside ISU awards a Bengal Paw and a Bengal Claw to a person. The paw goes to someone who's done something remarkable on campus, and the claw is for something recognized as being less than adequate. Well, we are happy to award this week's Bengal Paw to the Bengal dancers who performed well at nationals. The dancers recently competed at a national competition where they brought home an unprecedented first place trophy. Great job, Bengal dancers. Well, this week's Bengal Claw goes to the officials of last week's men's basketball game against Montana in the Holt Arena. The officials were suspended after wrongfully calling a timeout a second before the final buzzer. Well, that's all we have time for. Goodbye, and join us here next week.